Welcome back to Batman No Man's Land right here at Comicstorian, your home for comic books, video games, and movies, dramatically read to you by a guy who thinks he can do it. Today we're going to be continuing the storyline of Batman No Man's Land, which is a very long storyline that came out quite a while ago. To give you a general idea as to how we got here, the Earth was shattered and the buildings crumbled, and the nation abandoned Gotham City. Then only the valiant, the venal, and the insane remained in the place that they called No Man's Land. Villains, the GCPD, and even Batman sectioned off the city, creating their own gangs. Batman is now trying to figure out a way to get the city back, as not even Superman can help him. And last time, Barbara was showing Cassandra Cain a picture of herself back when she used to be Batgirl. She told her that it was her, a long time ago, and asked her to take it. Batman then appeared, telling Barbara that she needed to call them now. And today's story is Assembly, and if you enjoy this, please consider subscribing to the channel. It's how you join Batman's gang in the No Man's Land. And if you hit that like button, we'll even allow you to join the front line and battle against Two-Face and Penguin. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Barbara says that they're going to need more time, and so Batman leaves, telling her that they have 24 hours. If they can't do it, then they aren't up to the task. But for now, he has business to attend to. Over on the south side of the city, Jim sits on his patio staring at his potted plants. His wife Sarah comes out asking if he's ready for bed, but Jim tells her in a minute. He sets the plant back down and he looks back to see Batman. He tells him to go away, but Batman doesn't move. So Jim turns, telling him, "I don't care whatever it is. I didn't ask for your help against Kane, and I'm sure as hell not going to ask for it now. Now get out of here." Batman tries to speak, but Jim shouts over him, telling him, "No! Leave!" So Batman stands there as Jim pulls back, punching him across the face. Batman turns to leave, hanging his head, telling him, "Two-Face isn't an ally that you can trust." And Jim looks to him, telling him, "Neither were you." And back at the clock tower, Azrael, Cassandra, Nightwing, and Robin meet with Barbara. And they all begin to joke about how long it's been until Batman finally arrives. He steps out of the shadows, telling them all that it's good to see them. "You've come far, and right now you all need to stay here. Nightwing, you're coming with me." So, as the sun comes up, our mysterious Batgirl prays before getting some much-needed sleep. She jumps down into her apartment, taking off her mask when a voice tells her, "It's harder than you thought, isn't it, Huntress? Not working out like you planned." Huntress turns back asking, "You knew?" Batman tells her, "Yes. 6 people are dead. The fault is as much mine as it is yours. If you want to keep that cowl and become our new Batgirl, I need to trust you. I have to know that you're going to be following orders. Trying isn't enough. You were supposed to stop Black Mask at the tower. You failed. I told you not to follow me when I took Black Mask into custody. You disobeyed. I told you to protect our territory, our people, but now Two-Face commands our land." Huntress throws the mask at him, yelling, "You blame me for all of that? Do you think that I don't understand? I can't just forget those who died. I can't sleep at night. I can't forgive myself. You left me alone to fight more than 200 of Two-Face's goons. What was I supposed to do, Batman?" And Batman tells her, "More. You lack discipline. You lack control. You're too emotional. If you're going to remain with me, with us, you need to fall in line. Otherwise, you're out." Huntress shouts, asking, "It's always your way, isn't it? Either I do your lapdog thing or nothing. I won't take orders from you, not anymore. I'm not going to do what you want. Don't ask because I can't." So Batman tells her, "Then you need to stay the hell away from it all. It's the only way." Batman leaves and Huntress sits at the windowsill, stating that she can't do either. Outside, Nightwing tells Batman that he knows that he can't push her like that and expect her to play along. She isn't going to stay out of it. She's gonna go rogue. So Batman tells him, "Yes." And Nightwing tells him, "Uh-oh, I know that tone. That's the I have a plan tone." A second later, Batman and Nightwing jump down, and Batman looks at everyone, telling them, "I need your help. I thought I could. I thought I needed to do this alone, but I was wrong. No Man's Land is too big, too dark. The only way to bring light to Gotham is for all of us to work together. All of us, including her. Robin will work with himself on a special project in Robinson Park. Within 24 hours, Nightwing will be inside a Blackgate. Within 48 hours, he will have it under his control. Azrael and our new friend will find out what Nicholas Scratch is up to and put a stop to him, the man most responsible for Gotham City being declared a no man's land. Any questions?" As no one says anything, Batman holds out a small box to Cassandra, telling her, "This is a sacred trust. Remember that. Honor it." Cassandra opens up the box, and inside is the Batgirl costume. Once Cassandra's done changing, Batman tells her, It's time we all move out. There's work to be done. Even though Azrael knows it's a dream, he doesn't wake up, because it's kind of interesting. It's him out in the Wild West as a gunman in search of Scratch. The two men stand by the dusty roads, and when the word draw is shouted, Azrael slaps leather and fires 3 shots. As Scratch manages to get off one, he falls to the ground, telling him that it looks like he's cashing in his chips and heading for that last roundup. He was a plumb fool for thinking that he could draw against the angelic kid. Just then, Azrael's name is called by Leslie Thompson, asking what is he reading. She reads a passage and tosses the Western book to the side, telling him that if it smelt better, it at least would be garbage. Why bother with such filth? Azrael tells her, well, I kinda like the idea of 6-shooter justice. Elsewhere, a thug holds up a man stating that he looks awfully familiar. He looks like a cop that got busted back in the 15th precinct. The man holds out his pipe, telling him that he was with the 15th, but not anymore. And is that gun supposed to scare him? There hasn't been bullets in this city for weeks. The thug pulls the trigger and shoots the ex-cop in the chest and smiles. But as he does, Cassandra jumps down from the rooftops, throwing a batarang into the thug's hand and jumps in, kicking him in the face. Later, at the hospital, Cassandra brings in the man who was shot. Leslie looks him over, realizing that he was shot with a bullet. So Azrael states, is that so? Show me who. A few moments later, back at the area where Cassandra found the ex-cop, she and Azrael see the thug, and the thug says that she caught him off guard before, but this time, Cassandra walks up to him, kicking him in the face, bringing him back to the hospital. As Leslie is checking him out, Batman walks in. I gave you one job. Don't you think it's about time you started listening instead of playing around? Later, Azrael walks with Cassandra out of costume, stating that he's going to try and do this without hurting people. Every time he puts the Azrael suit on, something inside affects his body. He becomes really powerful and kind of mean. That's really the only part that he doesn't like about this. Without the suit, he's just Jean-Paul Valley. Pretty unmean guy. Word has it that Scratch has gatherings at the schoolyards, so they should start there. Maybe she could stand back and keep an eye out. But when Azrael looks back, Cassandra's already gone. That's when a large man steps out asking what he is doing here. So Azrael tells him that he heard that Mr. Scratch was given a talk he would like to. The man walks up to Azrael, looking him up and down, telling him to take a hike. Scratch don't want some guy like you in the crowd. The man stares for a moment and then is struck in the back of the head by Cassandra, and Azrael tells her thanks. Once Azrael gets to the meeting, he sees a large group of people all waiting and shouting for their master to arrive. Just as the cheers get to their loudest, Scratch gets on stage telling everyone that he's heard the things that everyone has been saying and calling out. Dregs, the lost, the stupid, the criminal, and the insane. But he calls them the favored, the special, the chosen. They all know his history. He was a blob at his blobby job, but one night he was hit by a beam from a far-away galaxy. It carried a message from beings far wiser than they, and it instantly transformed him. He became rich, famous, and beloved. And all of that was only preparation because he knew that he was meant for something grand. That's when an earthquake hit that leveled this place, and he recognized it for what it was. A call to action. He had supplies, food, medicine, guns, and he waited until the time was right. And tomorrow at sunrise, they will go into the streets and they will slaughter all of those who turned them away. They will build upon the ruins a place of wealth and grandeur and unimaginable luxury. Azrael looks around at the crowd, and just as he looks at the hundreds of mouths, they all say the same thing. Yes. That's when one of Scratch's men calls out to everyone to line up. They're going to be handing out their guns. Azrael patiently waits in line, and when he's called, he notices something. The man handing out the guns is the same thug that Cassandra beat up earlier. The thug hands over the gun and then tells him, wait a second, you look familiar. You're the guy that was wearing that funny suit. Everyone get him! Azrael runs and he begins to escape, but as he leaps over the wall, he's hit from behind and knocked to the ground. Scratch walks up telling him, I believe we've met before. Your name is Azrael, or at least that's what you're calling yourself. Scratch brings Azrael on stage, telling everyone to line up and take turns shooting Azrael. Azrael leans up, telling him to just get it over with so that there's only one life lost. Scratch kneels down, asking, what do you mean by that? Wait, you wear a costume, that's it! If you die now, you'll just be another victim of no man's land. But if you die in costume in front of everyone will know that one of Batman's minions fell by my hand, Nicholas Scratch! Azrael's taunt worked, and he convinced Scratch to put him into his suit, which, unknown to him, is when Azrael is at his strongest. Scratch calls out that it's settled. Tomorrow they will march until a suitable group gathers, and then they will execute the costume. Until then, they'll have fun with their new friend here. So a short while later, the thug from before stands over Azrael's beaten body, telling him that it was fun. Afraid that's all he could do for now. Once the sun comes up, he'll die. And hopefully Scratch will let him be the one to do him in. Azrael laughs, telling him, take care! And once the coast is clear, Cassandra jumps down. Azrael asks where she's been. Are those the followers' guns? Good. She reaches down, untying him, and Azrael tells her not to do it. She just needs to stay close, but make sure not to be seen. She'll know when she needs to come out. So the next morning, Azrael's put into his suit and he's brought out. But before the march can begin, one of the followers tells Scratch that someone stole all their guns. Scratch says that it's unfortunate. Well, just head down into the bunker and we'll get some more. Azrael listens and watches the man as he leaves to determine the direction of the bunker. The thug from before holds his gun to Azrael's head, asking, did you do this? You couldn't have. You were tied up all night. Aight, that pretty boy? Once the follower returns, the march begins as the thug is keeping his gun out, asking if he could shoot him yet. Scratch looks at the pile of bricks, telling him that he has a much better idea. They're going to stone Azrael to show everyone what happens when you oppose Nicholas Scratch. All of the followers begin to pick up bricks, but Azrael tells them to wait. You can't kill me without my mask. I wouldn't be complete. Scratch shouts, thank you for the kind suggestion. Now get your mask. Once they put it on, Jean-Paul is no more, and all that's left is the persona of Azrael. Azrael tells him that this is going to be a warning. Surrender now, or he will most certainly hurt them all. Scratch laughs, telling him, I'm just gonna take that chance. So Azrael holds up his bound hands and he smiles as he rips the ropes apart. Scratch yells to throw the bricks, but as the followers do, Azrael effortlessly blocks all of them. He then shouts to just use the guns, but that's when Cassandra jumps in, knocking everyone holding one down. The thug from before says, look, I was just doing as I was told. I ain't got no beef with, but before he could finish, Azrael knocks him out. Scratch then turns back to his followers, telling them to kill the sinner. But all of his followers turn and they walk away, with Azrael calling out to the masses, telling them that Scratch promised them salvation. He's calling him a liar. He is opposing him. Now do something, Scratch. Show them your strength. Scratch grabs one of the followers, demanding them to fight, but Azrael tells them no. Get on your knees and beg for mercy. Scratch then turns, lunging at Azrael, but using little of his strength, Azrael easily beats him down. Scratch stumbles back, telling him that the star beings promised me victory. So Azrael pulls back his fist and he smiles. They lied. With one last hook, Azrael knocks Scratch out. And so Azrael looks around at everyone, telling them that this is their savior. Anyone care to follow him now? The crowd disperses, and Azrael tells Cassandra that they need to find those medical supplies. He has an idea where they're hidden. Later at the hospital, Azrael takes off his mask, telling Leslie that things got ugly. He didn't want to use violence, but that isn't the worst part. Him fighting like that, well, he enjoyed it. Leslie laughs, telling him that that just means that he learned that he isn't in control of himself. He's just like the rest of them. But the nice thing is, as long as they're still breathing, they can try again. Now come along. There are some sick people who need our help, Jean-Paul. And take off that ridiculous costume. And that concludes the next part of our Batman No Man's Land storyline. Now, I know I've said this before, but now that Smallville's wrapped up and we're done with the Spider-Gwen stuff, we're going to get through No Man's Land finally. It's coming out on a regular basis every week. I hope you guys enjoy, because I know some of you have been waiting for this to go on forever now. If you do want to keep it coming, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button so we know what's happening. And I guess overall, guys, I'll see you next time right here. If you want early access to all of our videos, don't forget, we do have a patreon.com/Comicstorian, where you can get all of our videos early access and unedited versions of our podcast. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you next time right here.